Talk to Banner?
No Banner. Only Hulk.
Peter Parker is finally coming back to the MCU, and Spider-Man Brand New Day already looks like the most important reset of Tom Holland's entire run. The world no longer remembers who Peter Parker is. New York only knows the mask. And the new trailer makes it clear that being Spider-Man full-time beginning to change him in ways he may not be able to control. That is the real hook of this movie. No Way Home ended by taking everything away from Peter. MJ forgot him. Ned forgot him. The Avengers no longer know the person behind the suit. He is living alone, fighting crime in a city that does not know his name, and trying to convince himself that protecting everyone else is enough. The trailer begins by looking back at Holland's first trilogy, but it quickly moves into a very different chapter. Peter is no longer the teenager asking older heroes for help. He has become a full-time Spider-Man, and the pressure appears to be triggering a dangerous physical evolution. The official story describes those changes as something that could threaten his entire existence. That wording is important. This does not sound like a simple suit upgrade or a new ability he immediately understands. It sounds like Peter's body is changing faster than his mind can adapt. We also get a much better look at his fight with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. The exact reason they are attacking each other remains hidden, but the footage does not look like a friendly misunderstanding. This is Savage Hulk, not the controlled smart Hulk audiences have known since Endgame, and Peter appears to be fighting for his life. The strongest theory is that Hulk is being controlled by the mysterious, hooded figure seen in previous footage. If that character can influence minds, then Bruce Banner may not be the only person affected. Michael Mando's return as Mac Gargan may support that idea. At one point, Gargan asks Peter, "Do you think I'm the Scorpion?" That line sounds strange unless someone is using his body, altering his identity, or forcing him to question what is real. Scorpion's return is already a major payoff. Homecoming introduced Gargan nearly a decade ago and left his story unfinished. Now he finally appears ready to become the fully armored villain fans have been waiting to see, but he is only one piece of the larger threat. The Hand is also returning to the MCU after its defeat in The Defenders, and the trailer shows Spider-Man facing heavily armed ninjas in what appears to be one of the movie's biggest action sequences. That is an interesting direction because it pushes Brand New Day into street-level territory while still allowing supernatural elements to enter the story. Peter may be dealing with organized crime, ancient assassins, and mind control at the same time. Tombstone is another major addition. Marvin Jones III, who previously voiced the character in Into the Spider-Verse, is now playing the MCU's live-action version of Lonnie Lincoln. Tombstone is one of Spider-Man's most dangerous street-level enemies, and his presence suggests New York's criminal world is being reorganized while Peter is isolated. The Department of Damage Control also appears to have a much larger role. Tramail Tillman plays William Bill Metzger, a character connected to anti-mutant extremism in Marvel Comics. If Metzger is involved, the movie may be connecting Spider-Man's story to the growing mutant conflict inside the MCU. That connection becomes even more interesting because of Sadie Sink. Marvel has not officially revealed her character, but one of the strongest rumors is that she may be playing Jean Grey. The trailer does not confirm that theory, but the mysterious hooded figure's possible mind control abilities make it difficult to ignore. If Sink is Jean Grey, then Brand New Day could become one of the first major bridges between Spider-Man and the X-Men. Peter is not completely alone, however. Jon Bernthal returns as Frank Castle, bringing the Punisher into a Marvel Studios movie for the first time. That pairing may become one of the strongest parts of the film. Spider-Man and Punisher have completely different ideas about justice. Peter refuses to kill. Frank believes some criminals only understand permanent consequences. Putting them together creates instant tension, especially now that Peter is angrier, lonelier, and physically changing. The trailer suggests they will still work together, likely because Peter has very few people left he can trust. Frank may be the last person Peter would normally ask for help. But in this new life, normal choices are disappearing. Zendaya and Jacob Batalon are also returning as MJ and Ned, but their presence carries much more emotional weight now. They do not remember Peter, while the audience remembers everything. Every scene with them has the potential to hurt because Peter knows exactly what he lost. He can see the life he used to have, but he cannot step back into it without risking their safety again. That emotional conflict may be the reason Tom Holland is receiving such strong early praise. Sony chairman Tom Rothman has already called this one of the biggest movies the studio has made and said Holland delivers his best performance. That is a major statement considering the emotional weight of No Way Home. If Brand New Day truly gives Holland his strongest material, then the movie may be less about spectacle and more about what happens when Peter can no longer hide the cost of being Spider-Man. The marketing numbers show how much interest already exists. The first trailer reportedly reached 718 million views in 24 hours and passed 1 billion views within 4 days. Those numbers are almost impossible to ignore, but huge attention also creates huge expectations. This movie is arriving almost 5 years after No Way Home, and audiences do not only want another adventure, they want the consequences of that ending to matter. Director Destin Daniel Cretton is a strong choice for that challenge. Shankai proved he can handle emotional family drama and large-scale superhero action without losing the characters inside the spectacle. Chris McKenna and Eric Summers are back as writers, while Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige are producing. That gives the movie continuity with Holland's earlier trilogy while allowing it to move into a darker phase. The fact that Brand New Day takes place before Avengers Doomsday may also matter. Peter's physical evolution, his possible connection to mutants, and his growing isolation could all become important when the larger multiversal crisis begins. For now, the trailer's biggest promise is simple: Peter Parker is back. But he is not returning as the same person. He has no family beside him, no public identity, and no clear understanding of what is happening to his own body. He is facing Hulk, Scorpion, Tombstone, the Hand, damage control, and possibly a powerful telepath, all while trying not to lose the moral center that made him Spider-Man in the first place. Spider-Man Brand New Day opens in theaters on July 31st. I want to know which part of this new chapter interests you most. Is it Peter's physical transformation, the Punisher team-up, Savage Hulk, Scorpion's return, or the possible introduction of Jean Grey? Because after years away from the MCU, Spider-Man is not simply coming back. He may be stepping into the most dangerous version of his life yet.